into one of the other things related to object-oriented programming, and this is the idea of private versus public. And so we're going to be working out of Chapter 9 of Daniel Liang's Introduction to Java Programming, and this is coming out of Section 9, which is Data Field Encapsulation. And we're going to be looking at private versus public, and we're also going to be looking at getters and setters. So let's go ahead and get started. So I wanted to read something to you right quick, and this is from Daniel's book, and it says, a private field cannot be accessed by an object from outside the class that defines the private field. A client often needs to retrieve and modify data. Make this accessible, use public getter and setter methods. And so the idea is you've got a way that basically limits access to the data. And Daniel's got a nice little example, listing 9.9 here, that'll allow us to do that. So let's go ahead and pop over to Eclipse, and we'll get this cleared off. Let's go ahead and make a new package. I'll call this Chapter 9, Listing 9. And let's add a new class to this. And I'll call this Chapter 9, Listing 9. And this one is going to include the public static void method. All right, so here we've got main. I'm not going to use the to-do list today, so I'll just get rid of those. Make sure it works. Hey, there we go. And have a nice little print statement at the end of our code that we know where the thing stops. Cool. All right, let's go explore and have a little bit of fun. So the first thing it says is, let's make a circle with private data fields. We're going to call this my circle, and we're going to use a constructor that allows us to have a defined radius. Okay, so the circle with private data field, let's go ahead and create this class, and Eclipse just handles all of that for us, and it makes it really nice. So we've got that. I want to go ahead and make a default constructor. And the default constructor I want to be public, and I am not going to pass anything in or do anything special inside of that. So that's default constructor. Let's see what else we need to do. It says, hey, you know what? You also need another kind of constructor that has is able to accept a new radius. So what we're going to do here, first thing, I'm going to refactor this. This is a creation radius. I'm not going to use the to-do statements today, and then we'll say this dot radius equals creation radius. Now, radius doesn't actually exist yet, so I'm going to come up here and I'm going to say private double radius. And so now I've got a creation radius, and let's just see, okay, that tidies everything up. Let's see if we can run this. And we don't actually have anything printing off to test yet, so we're okay with that. And now it says the area, and so we're just going to grab this little print statement. It's got two method calls in it. Okay. Doesn't have get radius yet, so let's create the method get radius, and this is going to need to return a double. We're not using the to-do list today. And let's do this dot radius. Okay. And come and save that. Okay, now we need to get area. So create get area. It's going to return a double. Not going to use the to-do list today. And area of a circle is pi r squared, or pi times the radius squared. So we use math.pi times math.power how, and we'll do this dot radius, and we'll do 2. And now I can bot back here. F11. The area of a circle of 5. Okay, let's do some math right quick. 5 times 5 is going to be 25. 25, pi is about 3. 25 times 3 is about 75. So 78, yeah, I mean, that's pretty good. I'll take that. That seems like what it should be. Yeah, they're not going to give us what the output of the code is. Are they? Nope, not really. That's okay. And then here we go. So this little block will just use a getter and a setter. Let me pop this in right quick. It says, hey, set radius doesn't exist, so create set radius. Let's do, oh, D is not a great variable name. So I'll say next radius, and I'll say if, I'm going to be a little more picky than Daniel on this one probably. If next radius is greater than or equal to 0, and this dot radius equals next radius, and then I'm going to say else this out. Negative radius not allowed. Let me use printf on this one. Oh, and an escape character to do a new line, this dot radius. Okay. So let's try this. 5.5, that would be a slight increase, and we see how the area does go up. We'll assume that that is working correctly. Let's do my circle dot set radius -5. There we go. My circle. I had a typo. And negative rate. Hey, that code works. Cool. All right. So we've got everything that Daniel had laid out in his test file. Oh, here we go. We need to have the number of objects created. And so let's go ahead and add this in here. Number of objects, get number of objects, create the method. Okay, so public static, this is going to be an int, return number of objects. I'm not going to use the to-do list today. Number of objects doesn't actually exist yet. So I'll come up here, I'll do private static int number of objects. The default number of objects should be 0. And then I'll come in here and I'll say, hey, if you're going to use the default constructor, number of objects. I like S. Number of objects. Yeah, number of objects. There we go. Number of objects plus plus. There we go. And we need to repeat this here. There we go. All right. Save this. We run it. The number of objects is 1. We could do let's do, I'm gonna grab this block of code right, oh, hey, kids. Let's grab that block of code right there. And then I'll call this my circle 2. And this should increment. Okay, so there is that fun. Let's try that right quick. Yeah, we create a new object, we get one more. All right, let's go back and let's see if there's anything else. Okay, so that is the number of objects call. Let's see if there's anything up in Daniel's method. Radius, number of objects, default constructor with the new radius, get radius, set radius, get number of objects, and get area. I think we've got all of that in ours. Yep, get area, get number of objects. So anyway, that's our code for today. What this demonstrates is we're using private data and public methods. Also shows an example of a static variable. And again, a static is just a way that we can say we're going to have one variable, and that variable is going to be shared across all objects, all instances of the class. And so we've got one variable that reaches the whole class. And so a static variable is slightly different than like what the radius is, which is just an instance variable. So, well, friends, I certainly do enjoy spending a little bit of time with you and showing you a little bit about object-oriented programming. We just, everything about object-oriented programming, this really does make things a lot easier, makes your code more clean, and also helps, I think, make programming more fun. So anyway, I do enjoy this thing. I hope you're having fun with it, and I look forward to spending more time with you in the future. Thank you all for your time. Have a wonderful day.